G'day everyone, it's Matt here from Rock Around the Block or rockaroundtheblock.com.au. Just got all of our order picking and packing done for the day and thought I'd do a bit of a video for people on EPDM. EPDM, or as most people would know it, pond liner. And what does EPDM stand for? EPDM stands for ethylene propylene diene monomer, although that's irrelevant for most people. But what is relevant and what you do need to know if you're looking at building a pond or a dam or something to that effect is that it's a really high quality and in most cases very convenient option for basically acting as a waterproofing membrane for your body of water, for your pond, for your swimming dam or natural swimming pool, whatever else it is that you're looking to contain water in. And in most cases is a lot more convenient and cost effective than say fiberglassing or concreting. I'll show you some of our EPDM options that we currently have in stock, some of the rolls that we have, and then I'll talk a little bit more about each one and what sort of ponds and what size of ponds they may be suitable for, and then talk just briefly about how they are typically laid and also how we ship them and a few other things. So at Rock Around the Block, we actually sell 3 different types of liner. We sell Awazi Easy Fold, and I've got a full 30 meter roll here of 4.5 wide and 0.8 thickness. So 0.8 represents the thickness of the liner. That's a measurement of millimeters, so 0.8 mil. And 0.8 mil is typically your entry level thickness when it comes to liner. It's, as you can see here, I don't have calipers with me or anything like that. And look, it is a thin liner, but still represents a really good step up in terms of quality and strength and durability over your PVC or HDPE options. Obviously, it is priced at a premium to those options accordingly, but is much more durable. It's also much more flexible. And look, we do see a lot of people coming to us with holes in their plastic liners and things like that, and then upgrading to even just the entry level 0.8 mil EPDM liners here. The next step up from the 0.8 mil entry level liners that we sell is typically 1.14 thick. So the 1.14 thick liners are a bit more robust. They're, again, about 30 to 40% thicker. They're a lot heavier. They're more heavy duty. And yeah, look, you may see, depending on the brand of liner, a bit of a difference in terms of texture. We get liners from the supplier in full 30 meter rolls across a range of different widths. So the narrowest standard width that we typically get from our supplier is 3 meters wide. So 3 meters wide. And here's an example here. This is a roll of Carlisle Aquatuff, a 1.14 mil thick and 3 meters wide. And as you can see, it's obviously we've sold some since we got it from the supplier. It would have arrived like that originally in a full 30 meter roll, but we've obviously had a few orders that have gone out here and we've subsequently cut it down. And the widest roll that we typically get standard from the supplier is 15 meters wide, 15 meters wide. We do get a lot of questions from customers, obviously who are looking to place an order, and for practicality purposes, asking us about how they would collect their liner order from the local depot in terms of do they need a truck or something like that to collect it, especially if they're ordering something fairly large. And what I will show you is that the liner itself comes from the supplier folded over a number of times on itself on the actual roll. So what we can see here is a roll of liner that is actually 9.14 meters wide. So that's our 9 meter wide liner. And it obviously came on a full roll, 30 meters long, 9 meters wide. But as you can see, it's just been supplied to us in a roll that's actually about 2.5 meters long from end to end. So when we're sending out cuts to the customer, if a customer orders a cut, for example, of 9 meter wide, that is say 6 or 7 meters long or more, typically we'll just send on a roll like this. So it won't be any more than about 2 meters wide. Sometimes customers think, oh, if I order a cut of liner and it's 9 meters wide and 7 meters long, does that mean it's going to be 9 or 7 meters long when I actually have to go and collect it? Well, the answer is no. We'll either fold it up to the smallest possible size that we can, so it fits nicely on a 1.2 by 1.2 pallet, which you can see these rolls are sitting on, or alternatively, we'll roll it back onto the original roll that it came from, which is no more than 2 meters wide. One other important thing that I haven't mentioned about pond liner is that when you are building a pond, it's really important to consider the prospect of underlaying. So underlaying is basically ensuring that you're protecting your liner. Your liner is typically going to be one of your biggest investments when building a pond. Liner isn't cheap. Pond liner, especially EPDM pond liner, which we sell, isn't cheap, and it's not cheap for a reason, because it is very high quality, it's durable, it's robust, it's tough, and it should really last for minimum 20 plus years once you've laid it correctly. But to ensure that it does last as long as possible, we always recommend underlaying your liner. And to do that, we sell a product called geofabric or geotextile, which we sell in either a 2, 4 or 6 meter wide option and cut to your desired length accordingly. And again, this is just giving you a bit of an idea of what that geotextile looks like. This is a 272 GSM textile. It's a non-woven polymer fabric, and it basically serves as a really good underlaying or protective measure for your liner, effectively preventing any roots or sharp rocks or other things like that from perforating the liner. You've got to understand that even for a relatively small pond, like a 3x3 or a 4x4 type pond, at a depth of say 30 or 40 centimeters, there's likely going to be hundreds of kilos. And then obviously when you have larger ponds, the weight of the water becomes exponential in terms of the force on that actual liner. So it really makes good sense looking to underlay your pond so that you don't damage it from any rocks or other tree roots or any other things that may look to perforate it over time. So there you have it, just a little bit of an introduction about pond liner. I know that hasn't covered off all of the questions that people would likely have about pond liner, and I will definitely do a lot more videos on this particular topic over time. Would love any questions that you have about pond liner. Obviously, it is a really significant investment, so we appreciate that it's not an impulse buy. People aren't there just impulse buying and spending $500 or $1,000 or $10,000 on pond liner like they do on small items from Temu or wherever else they buy cheap things, because it is a real investment for people. But it's a very worthwhile investment if you're looking to have a long-lasting and really beautiful pond or swimming dam or natural swimming pool or something to that effect. I guess one other quick question that I'd cover off is, how much pond liner do I need for my pond? And what we will do, I think we'll look to try and put this video up on a couple of different platforms. We'll look to try and put a link to our pond liner calculator in the description of the video, so that people can actually click on that link that'll take them straight through to our website, which will allow them to calculate the dimensions of their pond and then potentially how much liner they need. Look, generally speaking, for smaller ponds that are, I guess, going into a fairly sandy type of base, like I'm talking about a 3x3 or a 4x4, or maybe just a smaller narrow strip that you're doing for a stream, I would suggest you can get away with something a bit cheaper, like a 0.8 entry-level liner. But realistically, once you start going to a minimum size of, say, 6x6 or even 5x6, you're doing something that's about 6 wide, you really should be at that point considering the more heavy duty liner. So 1.14 as a minimum, especially when you factor in the amount of weight that liner is going to be supporting with all the water. So that's a bit of a rule of thumb there for people. But if you have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch with us about any of our USA made quality liners, the Oazi Easy Fold, Carlisle Aqua Tough, or of course Elevate liners, Elevate Pond Easy and Elevate Pond Guide, which Rock Around the Block has been selling for about 40 years. We would love to help you with any pond related questions that you have, any liner related or underlaying questions that you have. Thanks for hearing us out.